So the way I look at S&OP, I think it's a critical part of our 4G agenda because it's essentially one of the important activity systems that drives a consistent and sustainable growth rhythm. Importantly, I see S&OP actually as an engine, sort of a process that binds the entire company, aligns it, creates a rhythm around the business, and essentially gives us one platform around which to optimize our operations. So for me, it's essentially the sort of the Intel Inside, the chip or the engine that drives the entire company and glues it all together. So I don't think I can function or be a leader of an operating company without having a process that essentially does that. I think the first and most important is to have the declared belief and faith in the power of one system and one number to drive the business. Often we've been in situations where different parts of the organization work in silos with different operating plans that don't add up. What the S&OP does is the ability to essentially put everything on one platform. Admittedly, this is a bit manual today or sort of semi-manual, but it does create that one platform around which the entire company comes together around that one number. So the first piece was to declare the fact that we are going to become not just good at S&OP, but we're going to become world-class S&OP business. And I think we are well on the way to that destination. And the second most important, I think, criteria is to have the confidence and the courage to live with one number, because often there's temptation to sort of have a different number in supply end and the forecast end and in the financial end, and allow for this sort of little bit of flex to be in the system. But the courage to have the same number that goes all the way down to the forecast into Singapore was, I think, the second big ingredient. And the third big ingredient in my view is the discipline, the rigor, and the fact that the system is the superior and the dominating force. Because as soon as we start to poison the system by sort of making it ad hoc, we lose the system. So having the discipline of meetings, the rigor of analysis, and the faith in the system being bigger than individual at the first instance is really important. And then of course you have to apply judgment, but it must be first system and then judgment, because system should do 80% of the job in any case. So in my view, those are three key ingredients to really making this S&OP come alive. Declare you want to be world class, work on one number, and essentially put the discipline, the rigor, and make your system sort of foolproof and as flawless as it can be in a real life situation. I think it starts from the general manager's belief and faith in that you need a platform to run the business, one platform for the entire business. Because we have a matrixed organization with large number of categories spread across locations in any one country as well, with complexity of SKUs and departments. And it's a really, really key ingredient to put all this together on one platform, one ecosystem. And the general manager, leader of the business, needs to believe in that. And to my mind, the first and the most important thing is to role model that, lead from the front, declare your belief right up front. In fact, go and see a country that operates on the S&OP, get the experience and the sort of energy from that business, and essentially come and become a big advocate of change and lead from the front. It's going to be frustrating like any other change, but I think over a period of time, things start to fall into place and it becomes really a very, very powerful platform.
So Unilever Philippines under your leadership has actually demonstrated this now. What's next for the business in terms of S&OP?
I think if you look at S&OP, and we were looking at a little while back, we were in a data workshop in Singapore, we had lots of inputs, and it's very obvious to me that one platform that can do with simplification through IT and improvement of intelligence and predictability through IT and analytics basically is S&OP. So moving S&OP to a one intelligent platform, IT enabled, that allows people to sort of see the same thing in a dynamic fashion and contribute on that platform electronically without having to sort of add up worksheets, etc. Make life much more sort of 21st century, if I, you know what I mean, is really an important step. And the second thing that we can do at S&OP is to add more analytics to it. For instance, whether it's, as we're discussing today, whether it is descriptive analytics or whether it is diagnostic analytics or predictive analytics, all of those are possible. We have the information. We just need the tools to sort of put it in one place and then create a sort of simple, practical, analytical framework around which we can look at, 12 KPIs and all, and which are good enough to, run 80-90% of our decisions. Because often it's either too complicated or it's all over the place, so you're sort of operating a little bit of the intuition and ad hoc data. And of course, this would mean that globally, we can then run many processes, centrally. We could even have the same level of intelligence available to everybody in the world running a Unilever business. And you can, run revisions on a central basis. So the power of that sort of a system would be amazing. And it's quite possible in today's day and age. It's the iOS of Unilever.